Good afternoon. My name is Eric Slaughter, and I'm happy to be here today to represent Morehouse College for this historic event and this great announcement. I want to welcome all of our guests today on behalf of our president, Dr. David A. Thomas, and our interim athletic director, Mr. Javaro Edwards. I want to welcome our representatives from USA Volleyball, the SIAC, representatives from forgive me, looking at my notes here. Our distinguished alumni, Mr. Edwin Moses, our current students and athletes that are here as well. We all want to welcome you to this day and this event. Before we get started, I want to bring up our president, Dr. David A. Thomas. Well, I'm sorry, but first up, we're going to have our athletic director, Mr. Javaro Edwards, to come up and say some remarks about this announcement this day.
I appreciate that, and welcome everybody. This is a very, very exciting time for the college in many, many aspects, but for athletics, by us being an academically driven institution for many years, athletics has always sat in kind of the background and the backdrop, but now I can truly say, with the help of our president, Dr. David Thomas, athletics, we now have a seat at the table. This day is pretty much an exemplary day for us to show that. Definitely like to welcome our guests again. You'll get a chance to hear from them. We actually have UCLA's head volleyball coach and our USA men's volleyball coach here, John Speraw. He and I were kind of playing phone tag leading up to this time and trying to get to know, what the benefits of having men's volleyball here at the college would be, and it will be fantastic. So a few months ago when we started this walk, we didn't really know how we would get here because there's a lot of different pieces that have to be moved for us to get here, but now we are here. So I am proud to announce that in the school year of 2021, that Morehouse College will field an NCAA SIAC Division II men's volleyball team. And before I sit down and we bring up our president, I'd like to give a special shout out to all these student athletes that are here, because these are the young men that really and truly make the sacrifice. I've experienced it with them firsthand. I've worn the jerseys. I've stayed up late. I've done all the things that you're doing for the love of the game and to make the college better and for me to become a better man. You guys, you've done a fantastic job. And you press me, you really press me to be better, because I need to be an example for you guys so that you can set the next example. So I want to give you a round of applause for what you do, and then we can turn it over. Thank you guys.
Thank you and good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me as president of the college to stand here today and welcome volleyball to Morehouse College. Some people have asked me, why volleyball? Why volleyball? And it starts with the idea that what we do here at Morehouse College in our athletic program is to develop scholar athletes. And so volleyball, to me, represents a sport where we become even more attractive to an even broader group of individuals who have the possibility to be scholar athletes here at Morehouse College. I may be wrong. I haven't studied volleyball deeply. My daughter played volleyball in high school, and one of the things that struck me about what I learned watching her play, and she played at a pretty high level, could have gone Division I, but decided she wanted to go to art school, so she didn't. And that is that when individuals are making a choice to go to school who want to play volleyball, they don't necessarily start with what are my chances of going to the pros. They start with, where can I go and have a great experience playing volleyball, but also have a great opportunity structure when I leave, assuming there's no pro volleyball opportunity to absorb me, which there's not much of, at least in the United States. It may be a little different in Europe. So what I'm imagining is that volleyball will help us attract individuals who want to play at a high level, but who also want to invest deeply in their experience as scholars. And that's what makes volleyball very consistent with what Javaro and I and his team in the athletics department and our provost here and our faculty are committed to in the experience that our athletes have. So with that, again, I want to welcome all of you. I want to welcome the coach and our representatives from the Volleyball Foundation, and we're looking forward to an exciting partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Next up, we would like to bring up the CEO of USA Volleyball and thank him for being here, Mr. Jamie Davis.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for your kind words, and thank you all for showing up today. Today is a very historic week for us here in volleyball, and I couldn't be more proud to be standing here in front of all of you today with this amazing announcement that we're doing. For those of you who are unaware, volleyball is the #1 team participatory sport for women in high school and college. It's also the fastest growing high school team sport in the United States for boys. Yet when it comes to diversity, this is an area that is a huge opportunity for us. As volleyball's national governing body, USA Volleyball strives to increase the diversity and inclusion in our sport and always is looking for opportunities to do so. It's a complete misconception, and I've heard people say that we're only a sport for affluent white girls. I've had one person say we're only a sport for African white blonde girls even. But it's actually a complete misconception at all. Volleyball is a sport for people of all ages, all genders, all races, and all socioeconomic backgrounds. We have a whole sports development team that's out there trying to break down the barriers, the cost to entry to being able to play volleyball. And in fact, we have created sports kits at very low cost, which we'll even give out for free, frankly, which is where you can take a rope with a small net and you put it between 2 trees on a field. You take a ball, and suddenly that high cost of rental and needing space, that barrier is gone, because we are now helping it at the grassroots level so anyone can, just with a ball and this system, can go out and start playing the game. Today is really special, and I want to applaud the leadership and vision shown by Commissioner Moore, President Thomas, Athletic Director Edwards, and all 6 of the school's presidents and athletic directors for launching this new program, which will surely increase the participation of African American men playing volleyball and lead to new athletic and academic opportunities for young boys. I want to thank John, I want to thank Scott, I want to thank Wade Gerard, the CEO of First Point Volleyball Foundation, and all of them for everything they do in helping get this program going and also for growing the men's game as well. This program is going to serve as the new path to the podium for these men as they strive to join our national teams, and there's no reason to believe that one of them can't join John and his teams to represent Team USA and wear USA across their chest as we compete around the globe. So let's go SIAC, let's go USA, and thank you very much.
Thank you again, Mr. Davis. Next, I'd like to bring to the podium, and after looking at this gentleman's resume, I'm honored. Head coach of UCLA, and what I'm proud of, head coach of United States men's team, representing us in the Olympics and further on, Mr. John Speraw.
The Speraw? Oh, it's all good. Gets said a lot of different ways. That's fine. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to be here. In 2008, I was the assistant coach on the Olympic team, and we ended up winning a fairly improbable gold medal. We took a veteran team to Beijing and ended up winning, and I was on the bus ride home. And I was sitting next to Loy Ball, who's a legendary setter for the U.S. And Loy and I were having this conversation. We just won a gold medal, and he was saying, do you think that there is a plan in place or an opportunity for us to grow the men's game? He literally said that on the bus ride home from winning a gold medal at the Olympic Games. All of us that have been in the sport for a long time have been talking about how do we grow this game? How do we grow this game? And I'm just so proud that we're at a point now where we're actively going out there and doing it. Jay, thank you so much for your leadership in this regard. Dr. Thomas, thank you for your open-mindedness to take a look at this opportunity. It is a progressive, outside-the-box opportunity. And it took a lot of courage, a bold leadership to actually go forward and do this. It's an incredible first step for us. Thank you to Greg Moore from the SIAC for also collaborating on this project. As I took the national team head coaching position and went to Rio and then had the great fortune of having the opportunity to coach it through Tokyo, when I took that second quad, we call them quads from Olympics to Olympics, I felt a deep sense of responsibility that my job was to not only win a gold medal in Tokyo, but to make the job a better one for the next coach. I won't coach the national team forever, but at some point I'm going to be sitting at home watching the Olympic Games, and I'm going to want that head coach, Team USA, to win a gold medal. And how could I do that? How could I utilize the opportunity that I have right now to make this job a better one for whoever comes next and for the players who come next? And the way you do that is two ways. One is that you take care of the players that you do have, how you train them. And the second way is you increase the talent pool. So we've been talking about how to do this, but we didn't really know how. We didn't really have a vehicle to do that. And then I was having a conversation with Wade Gerard, who is now the CEO of the First Point Volleyball Foundation. And we got into a dialogue about here's a sport that traditionally has been played mostly by women, and yet there's not as many boys playing the game. Why is that? And so we started this foundation to go out there and actually get it done. And to the foundation members, Scott Stoll is here, and he and his wife Adrian have given generously, specifically to this effort. To the Andrew Family Foundation, we have an incredible board of directors, and you know what they are? They're doers. We're doing it. We've been talking for a long time about how to grow the game, and now we're doing it. Jay, you're doing it. Dr. Thomas, you're doing it. And I'm really proud of the effort that everyone's been put forth here to make this a reality. The other thing that we've talked about in the past is how come men of color aren't playing our sport? Why is that? I'm a Bruin. I know that was mentioned. And every single day I go to practice, I go to the Jackie Robinson Athletic Complex. So his number 42 is on every single sports building at UCLA. Being a Bruin has taught me the value of diversity. There's value there. When we're all in this together, I don't need to hear my own story. I need to hear your story. I want to share in your experience. Diversity can be such a strength. It can be so strong when we learn and grow from one another's experiences and journeys. And here we are, your efforts today at Morehouse, the efforts that the SIAC is adding men's volleyball as a conference sport is making our sport better. We're growing from it, just like we do as people. And at the same time, our sport is going to help Morehouse. We're going to give young men opportunities to come and further their collegiate athletic and educational experiences. And we're going to give you an opportunity to play for your Olympic dreams. Now, you may not think that a graduate from the SIAC could get on the volleyball court and win a gold medal. I'm telling you, it can happen. It can happen. There are opportunities. There aren't that many boys playing the game. There are opportunities right now for this sport to continue its growth. We've grown 22% over the last 5 years, the fastest growing boys sport in America right now. And someday our goal is that a man from Morehouse steps out on that court and represents Team USA. That's our goal. And it's going to be a continued partnership. Jay, we're going to continue working with you, help you find great coaches, help you run clinics in the area. How do we grow this game in the Southeast? This is a project. The first time you step out on that volleyball court, Jay, I want you to know it may not be pretty. Okay? It may not be pretty. The first time you try to side out, it may not go very well. But I look forward to helping any way I can, certainly from USAV and my role there. I look forward to bringing my UCLA teams to Atlanta and having an opportunity to play here and playing other SIAC teams. I'm just incredibly grateful for all the efforts that everyone has put forth. Jamie, thank you for your leadership at USAV. USAV is putting in a $400,000 grant. The First Point Volleyball Foundation is putting in $600,000. That's how this is working. And if it wasn't for both, this would never have happened. I look forward to the First Point being played here at Morehouse. It'll be a great day, and today's a great day, and I thank you for everyone's courage and leadership. Thank you.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you again today for being here with us. And I will say, as a proud Morehouse alumnus, that we fully know what a Morehouse man is capable of. I'm sure someday we will be able to represent you in the Olympics. The next coach is. And no better person to talk to us about that than the person I have the honor of bringing up next, our own Morehouse alumnus and an Olympic gold medalist. Please welcome Mr. Edward Moses.
Thank you. As you heard from Dr. Thomas and John and Jamie as well, this is a very great day for Morehouse in terms of seeding a new sport, giving young men new opportunities. My son was a volleyball player. The reason he didn't come to Morehouse was because we didn't have volleyball. He said, "Dad, I've got an opportunity. I want to go to Lewis University," which I had never heard of, but we got him there. He had to work against the odds. Just like our team is going to have to start at the bottom and grind our way to the top. But he came from a state that had no boys volleyball. I used to transport him to Florida to play with a Tampa Bay team, had a great coach, and he was like a walk-on. 2 years later, he was a starter. He continued to work out. He did his own, he got a physical therapist. He did all kinds of workouts. He got a scholarship to go to Lewis University without even playing in high school volleyball because he worked. And just yesterday morning, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning to take him to the airport to go to Spain to play for a club in Ibiza in the Spanish team. And John's seen him play before because Lewis, they played UCLA before and all the top teams. They're a Division II team. The profile is much like Morehouse. I think they have 6,500 students total. Probably 3,000 of those are graduates. Volleyball is their main sport. It's bigger than basketball, bigger than track, everything. They play UCLA, USC, Brigham Young, Hawaii. They play in the top 10 in the country. His freshman year, he won second place in the D1 championships. They were actually number 2. This year, they kicked out, you'll like that, they beat USC. Yeah, I love it. They beat USC, knocked them out, went to the Final Four this year. So it's a great sport. It's a fantastic sport. It's played all around the world. They play it hugely in West Africa, South Africa. They play it in the Caribbean. They play it in Brazil. It's a worldwide sport. Lots of people, there's a lot of athletes that play overseas. My experiences with volleyball, you probably know some of these names. Flo Hyman was a friend of mine, Debbie Green, Rita Crockett, all women of color who played on the '84 Olympic team, and I believe they won the first silver medal. But as John said, and as Jamie said, we kind of slip behind when it comes to recruiting men of color, Hispanic, Asian, African American, to get into the game. So we're going to begin to make that possible. Georgia, the state of Georgia, I believe, is growing boys basketball in high school level, and we will be available in the D2, at the D2 level to show what we can do at Morehouse. But it's a great sport. It's an exciting sport. I don't know if you've ever seen a high-level volleyball game at the collegiate level, but it's something to watch. And sort of like baseball, if you're sitting on the front row, you kind of have to keep your hands ready to block the ball. But even the young boys in high school are hitting the ball like 55, 60 miles an hour on serves. You have a split second to respond. It's a great sport, and I think it'll serve us well at the college to recruit better students, new students. At Lewis, I believe their grade point average on the volleyball team was like 3.6, 3.7. My son came in with a 2.8, 2.9 his freshman year, and he had to really hustle to get up to where they were. But by the end of his career, end of his term, he's 3.8, 3.9, 4 points. So it's a great sport. It's an intellectual sport. It's a little bit different, much different than football, basketball, same skill set, and I think it'll serve our students well to have another avenue for leadership and development. Thank you.
And thank you again to you, Mr. Moses. At this time, we'll bring back Dr. Thomas for a closing remark. He'll be followed by Athletic Director Edwards. He'll take any questions from the panel, the media. I see Mr. Crenshaw in the house, sir. Make his welcome, sir. And after that, we'll have a conclusion, and we have refreshments and all types of things for you to enjoy. President Thomas.
Just very briefly again, I want to thank all of you for joining us for this important announcement. Also to each of those here who've spoken this afternoon. I truly believe that volleyball will help us make both a contribution to Morehouse, but also a contribution to the world. Because one of the things that I think we should be in the business of is expanding the areas in which African-American men show up, participate, and excel. And volleyball presents one of those opportunities at Morehouse, which is synonymous in the world for black male excellence. So this is a great moment for us. Thank you.
Just to reiterate President Thomas's words, but I'd like to give a special thanks to Jamie. It's good to finally meet you. We've been kind of emailing back and forth, so now we have a face to the name. Of course, Coach, I appreciate you, and yes, since I'll be spending some time in LA, I'll be spending some time with you. One of the people that we have not really put any light on, but we will in a little while, he kind of carries himself like I do, because being an alum, I've been helping in the background of a lot of things with the college. And this man right here, kind of without his leadership also, we would not be here at this moment for this opportunity. Scott Stowell, he is a major helper for the First Point Volleyball Foundation. And I just want to say thank you. And if you could just stand up for a moment so people can kind of see you here. A lot of my players and just people that know me know that I'm not an onion. So there are not a lot of layers. I'm like the carrot. You just chop me up, put me in the stew, and we're ready to go. That's what Scott is. Scott is a lot like me in that aspect. He doesn't need to know about a whole lot of things. Just, how do we get it done? We're getting it done, Scott, with the help of everybody here at this table, especially the vision of our president, because without him and giving us the green light, and we did that at a gala. We weren't in an office. We were at more of a social setting, and he gave me the go at a gala that we were attending. So we're getting it done. To the rest of my student athletes, we'll continue to support you guys. My baseball players, you know where I come from. We didn't have baseball. I helped bring baseball back. And here you guys are, doing baseball. We want volleyball to be the same way, right? We're going to have volleyball. And the good thing is we don't have to sign any petitions or anything. We're already going to hit the ground running in the conference. So, again, I want to thank these three gentlemen. Of course, Dr. Moses, your influence goes without being said. You like to kind of float around and just kind of be that advisor that guides us in the right direction. And I appreciate that help with the powers that be. So thank you. Sorry. Limited question and answer period.
Hey, Jay, how many scholarships, and can you divide them up? Can they be broken up across?
So per our grant information, per our grant that we're getting, we are at 3.5 or 3? It's three. Yeah, 3 total, 4.5. So that's 3 full scholarships and then 4.5. I'm sorry, 3. 3 scholarships period, just 3 scholarships. Okay, so it'll be 3 scholarships.
And you can, are they full or equivalents? Can you divide them up?
So
Yes, you can divide
we can divide them. So just as long as they equal 3, we can disperse the money where it's needed to the scholar athletes that's needed.
I wonder if I could ask Dr. Thomas, is it Can this be an enrollment driver for you? The kids coming in here, ambitious athletes, they see something out there?
I think the answer is yes. The question was, can this be an enrollment driver? I think the answer is yes. I mean, a great example is just what Dr. Moses pointed out. One of the main reasons his son didn't come to Morehouse was that we did not have volleyball. So right there we have a case in point where there was an opportunity for us to have among our student body someone who had the potential to be a 3.8 student. I also see this as an opportunity for us in one of the areas that I'm trying to see Morehouse expand in, and that is our attraction to international students. And again, to Dr. Moses's point, this is a sport played in parts of Africa, the Caribbean, as well as Europe. And we want to become more attractive to international students. And in that sense, too, you know, what students often do when they're thinking about a college is not just look at the activities that they might be attracted to, but they look at the portfolio of activities a school has, and from that, make some assumptions about the school. So we're hoping that this also projects Morehouse as an even more global institution in its mindset, not just its activities. So the answer is yeah.
President Thomas, while you're at there, yeah, I was going to expand on that.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if I could interject too. To get to your question about enrollment driven growth, I think there's a huge opportunity here for volleyball because there's so many boys that are now playing the game. And like we mentioned a couple different times, it's the fastest growing boys sport in America now. When I came back to UCLA, I played volleyball there, was an assistant coach there for the legendary Al Skates, and when Al Skates retired, they brought me home. And there was 39 players in the program, okay, 39. Obviously only 7 guys get out on the court, 6 with the libero. So the demand for roster spots nationwide is massive. If you take the number of boys playing the game and the number of scholarship opportunities, it is dead last in the NC2A for percentages of ability to get scholarships, meaning that there's so many boys playing, so few opportunities. So for us, since we started the First Point Volleyball Foundation, as of today's announcement, we now have provided 68 new full-ride scholarships for boys in America. That's a huge, huge deal for us. And then that gets revolved, right? So the investment that our donors have made in this project is leveraged. We're providing scholarship opportunities for boys at an unprecedented rate. And it's a win-win. We provide scholarship opportunities for boys, and then it's an enrollment driver for schools, and young men have an opportunity to go and compete and have a great education.
While there's 6 players on the court, how many players do you need to support the program?
I mean, I think at Morehouse you're probably going to be able to get 18 boys pretty quick. I think, yeah, I think it's not going to be that difficult to do. Right now at UCLA we have 24. I'd actually like 22, to be quite honest, but I can't. I literally have a hard time turning away men. I have to turn away young men all the time.
Are you going to help Jay and the other 5 schools find coaches? You got people teed up?
I don't know about teed up, but we've had conversations. There's no question that today's announcement is just the start. This is about us making sure that this is a great success for Morehouse and everybody involved in this project. So I know that we've already had conversations with Kathy DeBoer at the AVCA, the American Volleyball Coaches Association. She has an incredible network of coaches. I know that we've talked with Jamie about leveraging resources within the regions here of USAV, running clinics, coaching development. There's a lot we can bring to bear to make sure that this is a success at Morehouse. Good. You got another question on that pad? You were looking.
No, I'm looking.
Yeah.
I think you got my best stuff.
Yes.
I have a question for Jay.
Yeah.
You know how many volleyball players you already have here? And the reason I ask that question is, for the the last Morehouse man to be drafted to the NFL came to Morehouse as a volleyball player, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. And we don't know that, but if I had to guess, I would say those 30 slots, 24, 30 slots would fill up pretty quick. Just as a course of reference, when we brought baseball back officially, we had like 50 young men just come out of the woodworks who were just here at Morehouse to get an education. But when we announced that we were bringing baseball back and we went to John A. White Park for our first tryout, there were 50 young men out there. So to say that we would have enough to fill the team if we needed to that day that we opened up tryouts, I would say we probably have enough resources in-house to fill a volleyball team. I would say yes. The number I don't know, but to fill the volleyball team, absolutely. Anything else? All right, we'll move on to the next part.
At this time, we're going to have a special presentation and a photo opportunity. We want to welcome up anyone in the building that's with the Volleyball Foundation, and as they're going to present to Dr. Thomas and Athletic Director Edwards. Where would you like to move them? Right in front of the podium, please.